Hello, everyone. First, I would like to say before I start that I do not own any copyrights to the music that I am playing in the background. I am a bit under the weather, if you can hear it in my voice, if you know how I talk. I will be using my tissue sometimes. So, excuse me for that. Um, I would like to start off by saying that I been procrastinating this for a while because it's embarrassing and it's very personal, as well as I don't want to put anybody in a bad light because what I'm saying is, you know, very personal. It's something that I went through in my life. It was something that I had to experience. Um, I don't regret any of it because it made me the woman that I am today. So I'm grateful for that in all things, that I am alive, and I made it out of the situation so that I can tell my story to other people. So if they are in a situation and they don't know it, or they came out of a situation and they want to talk about it, that's what I'm here for. I would rather for it to be talked about than displayed. We see, verbal abusive relationships on TV. We see physical abusive relationships on television, but we never hear anybody's story and them actually talking about it. We read it in books, but you know, um, some people don't like to read, or it's more personal when you're actually engaging into talking to people about what you went through. They can actually see your face and see the emotions of everything that transpired in your life. um so first, I would like to give a background of how I grew up. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, where my father was a pastor there for most of my teenage years. My father and mother are still married till this day. They've been married for 34 years. I grew up around a lot of love. I have 6 sisters and 1 brother. It's a lot of us, yes. He's the only boy. Spoiled. um, my parents, they were the prime example of trying to show us, even when we argued, they set this example of do not let the sun go down on your anger. So, most marriages, most relationships, they have their differences. They argue, or have disagreements rather, because they didn't yell at each other, and you know, they actually talked it out, and they didn't let the sun go down on the anger. They worked out their differences, and before they went to bed, they put it to bed before they went to bed, and I'm pretty sure they worked their differences out in the bedroom. That's none of my business. So, with that being said, I knew how love was and how it was supposed to be. I grew up around it. My parents showed love to each other. Like, they really balanced each other out. Growing up being a pastor's kid, you're always under a microscope. So I did take that seriously, even when I was at school. Some of the classmates that I had, they didn't feel right cursing in front of me because they felt like, I don't know, they just, out of respect, because I didn't curse, and I was pretty, trying to set the example of being a good pastor kid and not one of the wild ones. That didn't really happen until I got older. I still wasn't wild, but I did do some things early on that I wasn't too proud of. I got pregnant when I was 21, so there's that. I got pregnant with my son, and me and his father, we were to be married. We did get married in church. My father married us in church, but my son's father was enlisted into the Navy, so his recruitment officer said, if you turn your papers in now, then you will have to, well, if you get married now and you turn your marriage license in, you will have to go um, do everything all over, your paperwork all over, and enlist as married, and the process will take a little bit longer. So I said, you know what, no, you can go ahead and not turn the papers in. We don't have to turn these marriage licenses in. We can just wait until later on in life. We can get married, have a big wedding, things of that nature. Um, with that being said, we never turned the papers in, like I said, and we moved. He moved to Florida for his training. I moved from California to Columbia, South Carolina. When I moved to Columbia, South Carolina, I was like, this is different. And I just wanted to be single. I was like, I want to be single. I felt like I haven't really lived life. I got pregnant when I was 21, so I just wanted to explore. Um, I thought I could find something better. Um, then after that, I had to go to the man that I married in the eyesight of the Most High and tell him that I didn't want to be married anymore. That was really hard because I know that he was going to the Navy for me and his son. So, it was hard telling him that I didn't want to be married no more for my own selfish reasons. Looking for something that I already had in front of my face. A man that was willing to provide for me and his son. He loved me. There was no, we had our differences. We were young, we argued about small things, but that's little small things. We could have worked that out. It was, nothing too big. So, with that being said, I wasn't married to him. He was like, he didn't like the fact because he said the same thing that I was thinking. He went to the Navy for us. He wanted a family. He said he didn't want to have a baby mother. And I understood that. I was hurt for hurting him, and at the end of the day, it was me being selfish. So, with that being said, we didn't get married. I'm dating, having fun, just dating around, here and there, nothing serious, just little flings here and there. Until I meet somebody. We still didn't date. He was just my friend. He was a good friend to me. We were spending a lot of time together. He lived around the corner from my parents' house, and at this time, I was living with my parents. So it was convenient and easy for me to see him. I didn't have to travel too far. Um, we would talk on the phone all night. I worked at a level 1 trauma hospital, third shift. So I had to stay up at night, and he was helpful with that, texting me, making sure I was okay. We would talk every day, like I said. Building a good friendship. We will dance on the Wii together. We'll play tennis on his Wii. I also bought him a season pass to Carowinds. So we went there once together. I went frequently. I was a adrenaline junkie in the summer, so that was my fix, to go to Carowinds and get on those roller coasters. I could ride it so many times, but I loved it. I know what's coming next, but I still was just still excited. you know um, with that being said, after we went to Carowinds, he went out of town one year, and around the time we were talking, he went out of town, and his flight was to come back, and I had to work. And so he's like, I told him I had to work, so I won't be able to pick him up. And he said, please, can you pick me up? I would love to see your face when I get off the plane. So me, being that I cared for him, I made arrangements to get off of work early so that I can be in Charlotte to pick him up from the airport. So I did that. When I arrived to the airport, he got in the car. He's like, wow, this is not the response that I expected. I expect for you to jump and be happy. I was like, I am happy to see you, but I'm just getting off from work and I'm tired. I drove all the way out here and I'm tired, So after that, we were still hanging out, talking and everything. And so during the time we were friends, I had guy friends that I was talking to as well, When I'm in a relationship, I'm loyal to that person only. There's nobody else outside my relationship. So I told him, I started to want to get serious about him. And I said, I could drop all these guys. I don't have to have these guys. I don't have to talk to them. So he would answer my phone when they called so I can let him know, like, hey, these guys mean nothing to me. If it's so, why would I have you answer my phone? Like that. So one day I wrote a letter to him expressing how I felt about him. And after that, he texted me, and then he called me, and he's like, have you ever had your heart broken? I said, no, I haven't cared enough to have my heart broken yet, like that or whatever. And he says, I have, and it hurts. So I'm like, okay. After that, conversations wasn't there. We weren't talking. I texted him. He wasn't replying. After that, he finally texted me back and said he was going through some things or whatever. And then I told him I left my necklace at his house, which I did. So he said he didn't see it. So I said, please look, it still is in there. I know it's in there. I know I left it. So he's like, oh, I found it. And I said, okay, would you mind giving it to me? Like, can I see you so I can get it from you or whatever? He says, I'm going to put it in the mailbox. Yes. So I was really hurt. Like, wow. So you just stopped talking to me, no explanation. You says that one comment and didn't really explain it, you know. So I was just like confused. I was really confused and lost. Like, and I was hurt when I went to go pick it up from the mailbox. I was like, wow, he really don't want to see me. So I got it from the mailbox. I went home. I cried about it, of course. You know, this was somebody I was spending every day with, almost like talking to every day. He was a piece of my life that, you know, made me happy at the time. So, you know, I was hurt. I called him not too long after that, approximately a week or so after that, and a girl answered the phone. So I was really hurt. I was really hurt. I was crying. I didn't want to do nothing, you know. Just in my funk. I just wanted to be in my funk. I just didn't want to move. So, you know, my sister seen it. My sister Nita, she was like, rest her soul. I love her. I know that if she was around or we was around each other and she met my daughter's father, that I would not have, it wouldn't have lasted as long as it would have, because she would have told me, no, he's crazy, or this is crazy, the situation's crazy, you need to get away from him, or whatever the case may be. She would have talked me out of it. But a lot of people was, you know, my father seen something, a lot of my friends seen something, but when you're in it, of course, you're not going to know you're in it until you get out. Like, that's real, honestly, because you're just focused on really trying to make your relationship work. So that's what I was doing. I know I got kind of sidetracked, but with that, you know, I was hurt. So my sister Nita, she was very strong-headed. So she was like, you know, you're not going to be in your funk forever. You have to get up. We have to go out. We're going to go out. So I'm like, what's that going to do? You know, it's not going to do anything for me. I didn't want to go out. So I ended up going anyway, though. It was fun. We had a good time. Um, we really had a good time. I appreciated that, you know, her taking her time out to make sure I was okay, and taking me out, you know, making sure I was good, letting me know that I was, you know, I still had it. You know, I felt beautiful when I went out. The attention that I was getting from people, it made me feel good, but it still didn't heal me. It didn't heal the wounds that I still had to deal with, you know. You try to get over it by going out, dating other people. And that's what I started doing. I said, you know what, since I still got it. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm still beautiful. I can date. You know, I'm starting to date. So I started dating. I dated this one guy. He was very stiff and boring. So I was like, I know this isn't going to work, because I'm very lively. I have a personality. I have a sense of humor. I like to laugh and joke a lot. And so I was like, this is his sense of humor, his personality just didn't match mine. So I was like, okay, this is not going to work. So after that, there was a previous time that I talked to my daughter's father before we even met. We talked on the phone. I just wasn't really, I guess I was interested in somebody else at the time, so my interest went to that person instead of him. So I stopped talking to him, and that was that. So this is leading up into me talking to my daughter's father. Me and one of my friends, we were going shopping for her baby shower, and so we were walking around Walmart, and so I had seen him, my daughter's father, and I was like, he's cute. You know, his pictures didn't do him justice. You know, maybe I would have talked to him more if I would have seen him a while ago. So after that, I contacted him, and you know, I was like, do you still remember me from the past or whatever? He said, yeah. He remembers me, this and that. So we started talking. We started talking every night on the phone. Remind you, I'm third shift at a hospital, so I'm trying to stay up. So he's entertaining me. We're talking, having conversations, getting to know each other. The first time that I went over to his place, I told him, hey, I don't want to kiss until we leave, or don't want to kiss at all, because I haven't been intimate in a while. So he was like, he asked me why, and I said, because, you know, I haven't been intimate in a while, and I don't want to put myself in a predicament to be intimate with somebody. I would rather take my time. And so, of course, you don't tell a guy that you in a situation, y'all alone, y'all get together, it's bound to happen. So he didn't listen. I mean, we both didn't listen because the attraction was there towards each other. So we were intimate that same day that we first, like, actually hung out. So um, after that, I didn't want to talk to him. He tried to get in contact with me the next day, and I was like ignoring him, and he said, "Not this again." And I was like, okay. So he was persistent with his persuasion as well as consistent. So I was like, okay, I'll give him a chance. He's still trying. He's not trying to give up. Even after we, did what we did, he didn't try to treat me differently. At least in my head, that's what I thought. He didn't see me differently. But in my head, my morals for myself, like, if you sleep with a man on the first day, he doesn't have respect for you, because he's going to think that, oh, maybe you're doing this with other people. You're doing this with everybody that you first meet or whatever. So my morals for myself, that's what I have. If I did sleep with you or anybody on the first day, that means I didn't like you. I didn't care. That's all I wanted, was just to sleep with you. So it's not good. I progressed. I'm a different person now. But with that, after that, he kept wanting to talk to me. So I was like, okay, this can go somewhere. We can work something out. What attracted me to my daughter's father was his talent. He was very talented. I thought he was. He was doing his spoken word pieces, and that really attracted me to him. And here I am. I just auditioned for a movie, and I got a part. So I was excited about that, because I'm like, here he is, a writer me actress. So here we are. We can make some beautiful things together. I'm thinking about the future, trying to build something. So with that being said, we're still talking, dating. My friend has a birthday party at her house for her daughter, and so he comes along with me. So he's there. We're all in her house. We decide to get a red box. So I'm still doing something at the house. I don't know what I was doing in particular, but we were to get a red box. So he went to go get the red box, but his phone was dead. So he was going to call me when he got to the red box. And this is what he did to, I guess, to build trust, to let me know, like, I'm the only person he talked to or whatever. So we exchanged phones. His phone was dead. He took mine, so I took his. We didn't have time to delete anything out of our phones. So if we were hiding anything, or if we were talking to other people, or whatever the case may be, it would have been shown. Somebody would have called my phone. Somebody would call his phone, whatever. So we established that trust. He took my phone. We didn't have time to delete. He called me. I didn't have a reason to go through his phone because I trusted him. So, of course, I didn't go through his phone at that time. So, he came back. We got the red box. This is when he started putting in my ear that my friends are using me. I was just like, whatever. These are my friends. This is what we do for each other. We be there for each other. So, after that, it was Black Friday. Because, yeah, it's Black Friday. I gave him money to get a laptop. Because I'm like, how are you a writer and you don't have a laptop? How are you putting your work out there? How are you, promoting your business? Gave him the money for the laptop. He did not get a laptop. He got a tablet. So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's not a laptop, but you can still utilize it for whatever you need it for. I can't say it's not going to be useful. So he got the tablet. After that, we were still dating. We're still doing good. One day he decides to go up to my job. I don't really know what the situation was and why he wanted to go up there, but he decided to confront my friends while I wasn't around. So, I'm hearing about this. Do you know he came up to the job, this and that? And, I ended up driving up to the job myself, like, after that to talk to my friends. And, yeah, that's a whole different story. My friend is definitely gonna. We're still friends to this day. She's definitely going to enlighten you on that situation. Like I said, when you're in a situation, you don't know what's going on. Your friends around you know you better than you. Um, like she knew I was changing. You don't know. You don't know until I don't know. You just don't know. Your friends know, and then they try to tell you, and then you don't listen. So that was that. He went up to my job. That was a red flag for me because it's like, why are you confronting my friends and I'm not there? That's like kind of girlish. Like that's what females do. And didn't tell me he was going to do it. I would have told him no, or let me be there in the midst of it too, because I don't know what's being said while I wasn't there, you know. So after that, we're gonna get into the details of that in another video. So after that, we were still trying to work on us. When we first met each other, like I said, I was distanced from my sister, and this is why I really wasn't in contact with people for like over 2 years, almost a year and a half. I deleted my social media. We both deleted ours. It was an agreement upon each other to delete the social medias. He said it was like a little bit too much distractions on both parts. I really didn't get distracted by people on social media. I still don't to this day. If I'm in a relationship, that's that. You know, it's me and that person. So, we delete our social medias. Progressing a little bit further, there were times in our relationship, before, there was time in our relationships that we would argue about the past relationships and stuff like that. Not too long after, I did get pregnant very early with him. I would say like 2 or 3 months into our relationship, I got pregnant. And yeah, when I got pregnant and I found out I was pregnant, my friend that I just was getting over contacted me again in an email because I deleted my number or changed my number, whatever the case may be. He contacted me, asked me how I was doing. I never replied. I showed my daughter's father the message to let him know, like, hey, look, this is crazy. Like, let him know. You know, I told him about what just happened to me and what I was getting over. And he used to always say that he felt like a rebound. I said, you know, don't feel that way because I could just be with somebody else. I could be somewhere else. But, I mean, he was right in a sense because I was really living with him, his brother, and his grandma. So I wasn't in my right mind, and I was trying to fill a void that wasn't healed. I was trying to just fill it up with something. You know, you can't fill a wound up that's not properly healed. Like, that doesn't make sense. I never even heard nobody filling a wound up. So, you know, I was hurt. So I was in a dark place. I didn't ask. I was running away from my family. I was running away from home because I had too many memories here of what just happened to me. So I definitely didn't want to go to bed in that place and thinking about him. You know, all those memories were just there. So, with that being said, I was living with him, his brother, his grandma. I never asked his brother nor his grandma, was it okay if I can move in, stay there? I mean, my stuff wasn't there. I just was over there frequently, you know. So it's basically like I lived there. Not too long after my son started staying there, you know, we were planning on becoming a family. There was a time I did play a joke on him. It was an April Fool's prank, and it wasn't funny. It's nothing that you should do. You know, I was still childish, young, you know. So I told him my daughter wasn't his. I didn't know it was a girl yet, but I just said the baby isn't yours. I told him it was by one of my ex-boyfriends that he knew of. In the past, he wanted to see pictures of my ex-boyfriends, and he would say, oh, he can't stand next to me. He can't stand next to me. Oh, he could stand next to me. Stuff like that. Don't really know why. I mean, I knew stories of his ex-girlfriends in and out. Like, he would repeat them and as if I never heard them before. So I was like, oh, I already heard the story, you know. So, with that, it was disgusting. I should have never played that prank on him. You know, he was very mad. He was hurt. But he held that and kept it to heart for a while. That the baby wasn't his. And I was like, I was just joking. You know, I haven't been with nobody else but him since I was with him. So, After that, we decided to keep moving forward. After April, I'm like, okay, I'm tired of living in this place. We need space, and the baby's going to be coming, so we're going to have to find our own place. Before we got together, I always do this. Go back. I'm going to be backtracking because some of these dates are a little shaky because it's over like a 5 or 6 year span. So it's going to be a lot of different things. So before we got in a relationship, he was hanging out with a girl in the car and he didn't answer my phone call. So I was like, why you didn't answer the phone when I called? He said, oh, I was busy. I was doing something, whatever. So later on, after that, he finally admitted that he got dropped off by a girl and they were in his car and they were talking. I was like, okay, thank you for being honest with me, but we weren't together. So, I appreciate that. I appreciate your honesty. So that was that. He was honest with me about that. And I did appreciate that. So like I said, we were ready to move. I was ready to move. So we started applying for places. So our first place we applied for, I put his name on the application, as well as mine's, everything. We fill it out together. So I turned the application in, and I'm just nervous. This is my first time applying for a place by myself. So I'm just nervous. I'm like, I hope that I get approved. He said everything's gonna be all right. Being positive. He said, you're gonna get the place. And so I was like, okay. I was like, I hope so. So I had received a phone call from the lady, and the lady said, well, everything's good with you. You can come, but the person that you apply with cannot come. Yes, I was so puzzled. Like, what do you mean? We applied for this place together. We were supposed to move in together. So, she told me he had a background. She told me, not him. So, I'm just finding out he has a background from somebody else. Like, this should have been said to me before. It should have been, we were getting in a relationship. We're about to have a baby together. Don't you think that you should tell me about your past? Like, if you talk about all your ex-girlfriends, but you didn't tell me about your criminal background. So that was a red flag. But me, I'm trying to progress. I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to make something. I want a family. So I was so determined. Crazy. My videos are going to be like 30 minutes, 20 minutes sometimes, because I don't want to bore you. So I'm going to end this chapter, but I'm going to end it and telling you how we, so after that, I did apply for a place, and I applied for it by myself. Since I knew that ahead of time, well, now since I knew about his background, I applied for it by myself. I got approved for the place, so we decided to move. I'm going to end this chapter here, and I'm going to start my next chapter because I don't want my videos to be long, too boring, and I want you guys to come back to hear more. So, next, we're in our new place, or we're about to move into our new place. And that's going to be next. I'm going to keep the same outfit I have on just in the videos because I'm going to keep recording, but I'm going to post it at a later date so that you guys can stay in tune. And yeah, more is coming, more drama, more craziness. So please stay tuned.